Namaste, Dr. Divya here and welcoming you all in the session of yoga therapy. Today the topic is all about the dhatus and the shariras. There are 7 dhatus which is present in our body and also the 3 shariras, the 3 bodies by which our our gross body, our subtle body and more than the casual body is made up of. So we are going to learn first concept which is known as dhatu and it is the sapt dhatus. So there are 7 dhatus in the body: rasa, rakta, mamsa, meda, asthi, majja and the shukra. By this overall concept of dhatus, our body is made up of. So the first one is the ras dhatu. Ras is particularly gives the it from the word you can think that rasa is a form of liquid. Okay, it maintains all the circulatory process, it transports the oxygen and also it nourishes to all the tissues of our body. Second is the rakta. The rakta is nourishes the tissues and maintains the body temperature as well. So rakta is a circulation part. Third one is the mamsa. Mams is covers which covers the delicate vital organs and enables movement of the bones and joints and maintains the physical capacity and strengthening of the body. Next one is the med dhatu. Med maintains the giving the cushiness, oiliness to the tissue, provide compactness and muscular build up and prevent body from the environmental and the external shock. Asthi dhatu provides the support to the body and give the structure, a base. Asthi is the bone. It is a bone framework. This dhatu along with Sandhi also responsible for the movement and the strengthen the body. Majja. Majja fills up the bony spaces other than dhatus and the shukra is associated with the functioning with the sexual strength contributing towards the specific functioning of the gender. It is responsible you can say for the fertilization, for the human progeny in the future life. So it is known as shukra. So first we are going to study the ras dhatu is transformed from ahar rasa. Okay, it maintains the nourishment and support the circulatory process of the body. Ras dhatu forms of blood, water, protein, nutrients, ions and other elements. Rasa holds the blood cells, transports nutrients, maintains blood volume, balances electrolytes and provides defense against foreign bodies. Rasa improves the functioning of the mind and balances the pitta and correct the digestive system. Pitta is the metabolic, the bile part. Okay, so ras dhatav agni, this is a agni, the fire, plays an important role in the formation of Rakta Dhatu, the second Dhatu. From Ras Dhatu, which further nourishes the Mamasa Dhatu, by which it influences the Rakta Dhatavagni. Whether the potency of any level of the Dhatavagni diminishes or elevates, so it business of the production of the next Dhatu may be affected. So if one Dhatu is affected, another one is also affected. So metabolic process are produced which is known as dhatu mala. A same phenomena of differentiation and development of dhatu is sustained throughout the life for everyone. Any obstruction on any vitiation, which means dushti, dushtona, like it's a wrong term like dusht, may lead to deformity for the next issue. So if one dhatu is affected, another one is affected. So the functioning will study. Ras dhatu is particularly made up of water element because it is a circulatory part. Rasa means to move. It can be compared with plasma, extracellular fluid in the body. When ras dhatu is depleted, skin becomes dry. and also the person is lean, dull, tired, and intolerant to loud or speech or noise. When Ras Dhatu is in excess, loss of appetite, excess salivation, nausea, laziness, feeling of heaviness, cold, cough, and excessive of sleep is felt. So what are the functions of it? It makes the person, Ras Dhatu particularly makes the function very cheerful, very happy, and leave the glowing skin, and nourishes the Rakt Dhatu as well. Rakt Dhatu, second element, it is made up of fire. It can be formed like red blood cells, WBC, platelets. It comes in the Rakt Dhatu. So the Rakt function, it takes care of our complexion and also nourishes the third dhatu, which is the Mams dhatu. And the Mams dhatu, the third dhatu, is governed by the Pitta dosha. When Rakt dhatu is depleted, so qualities of Pitta diminishes, and the pith is gives the warmness. Okay, so if it depletes, so definitely person feel cold, and heat is very less, so obviously the constipated, reducing the urination, sweat also it reduced. Okay, so these all are the symptoms. In the depletion of Rakt dhatu leads to the dullness, processing of new information, confusion, misunderstanding. So if the particular amount of oxygen it is not present in our body, so definitely the concentration, the ability to work, it reduces for that person. Next one is also that the heat builds up in the body tries to release the heat, the body tries to release the excess heat along with the malas of the body. Okay, so the frequency of the bowel movement increase the stools, maybe it's there, and the frequency of the urination also increases in terms of the third dhatu. Now, the fourth one is the Mamsa. Mams is particularly made of earth element. Okay, so earth element gives the, you can say, the structure. Okay, it strengthens the body, builds the body tissues in the neck and the shoulders, in the thigh, etc. Nourishes the Med Dhatu is governed by the Kapha dosha and the earth element. When Mams dhatu is depleted, the fourth dhatu, when it's depleted, so it causes the debility of sense organ, emaciation of cheeks, buttocks, pain in joints, etc. And the enlargement in the excess, the size of the cheeks, thighs, abdomen, it increases. So it particularly related with, you can say, the adipose tissue. Mams, when the fat is decreased or increased, so they have their own disadvantage and advantage. Fifth one is the Med dhatu. It is made up of earth and water elements. So Med represents simple the oiliness. When you can see the skin is very soft. Okay, so baby skin is very soft. Their eyes are very nourished. So it is because of Med dhatu. And it nourishes the Asti dhatu and it is governed by Kapha. When Medas dhatu is depleted and it leads to spleen and enlargement, difficult the joint movement, emaciation of abdomen, etc. you can be felt in the Med dhatu. And when it is in excess, the oiliness, the skin is in excess, again it is a problem. Shortness of breath happens, the smelling in the sweat happens, like this. Sixth is the Asthi dhatu, which is particularly made up of air and the space element. The functions of it, it supports the body. Asthi is particularly the bone. Okay, it gives the structure to the body, it gives the stability, and it gives a structure like the our vertebral column, our tibia, fibula is present. So Asthi dhatu is governed by the Vata dosha. Every problem is governed by it in the Vata dosha. Is depleted, so it has started the pain in the joints, falling of the teeth, nails, etc. Bones become porous and gets easily fractured if the asthi dhatu is, reduced. Asthi dhatu leads if this excess in growth and teeth are developed over one another, extra bones you can see. So it is because if the asthi dhatu is excessive in our body. Okay. Next one is the majja. Majja is particularly made up of water element. So water has the quality of, clear mind, good intellect and the memory. And also it is governed by the kapha dosha, and when majja dhatu is depleted, then the bones get weak, joint pain, vertigo, etc. it will start. And when majja dhatu is in excess, so the heaviness of the eyes you can see, you can feel, and whole body in occurs. Okay, so this is all about the six dhatus. The seventh one is the shukra dhatu. Shukra actually has a lot of, if the good shukra is present, so our body, you can feel the freshness. Reproductive needs are concerned in that, governed by the kapha dosha. And in case of shukra dhatu depletion, the ejaculation is delayed. Okay, and also the pain in the testicles, body is weak, thirst occurs, and even in the excess of shukra dhatu, the desires of the courtiers is there. And also the everything which is related, you can say the sexual energy, it is in the shukra dhatu. So this is all about the seven dhatus: rasa, rakta, majja, asthi, mamsa, med, and the shukra. So this is all about the seven dhatus, and each dhatu has their own function, each dhatu has their own components, and each dhatu, when it is depleted, so there are dysfunctioning, and when another dhatu is excess, so there is another function, there is another functioning of it. So every dhatu is correlated with one another. Okay, so like if a rasa form, so it nourishes definitely the other dhatu, which is the rakta. When rakta form, so it nourishes the other dhatu. So this cycle continues, and in between the dhatus, if one formation, like in chemistry also, okay, so if something combine, if two atoms will combine together, so one ion releases. So same in the Ayurveda, if two things like rasa, from rasa rakta forms, if two things combine together, so something comes in between, which is known as the, you can say the excretion or the dushyas, which is present, and it is appropriately in all of the cycle of the dhatus. And if one form, one mala come, another form, another mal, excretion, which means another dhatu form from another, so another excretion comes. So this cycle continues, and if in our body the malas are increased in a higher way, so again diseases will be there. So this is all about the concept of seven dhatus. Now we are going to study the another concept, another principle, which is known as three bodies, three shariras. Our body is particularly made up of three body concepts. The first one is the sthul sharir, second one is the sukshma sharir, and the third one is the karan sharir. So the sthul sharir is particularly the gross body, which you can see. This body you can perceive. So the gross body or the sthul sharir is made up of panch mahabhut, which is known as again air, water, earth, fire, and the ether. Okay, so everything which you are perceived, every aspect of it which you can see, it comes under the gross body, and the gross body can be the nashta, it can be destroyed, but other two bodies cannot be destroyed easily. Okay, so this is all about the gross body concept. Second one is the sukshma body, which is known as the subtle process. So subtle process again has their again four elements, five organs of action, five the knowledge of actions, and 5 panch pranas, and other than that, buddhi, manas, ego, the ahamkar, and the memory is also present in the subtle body, which is known as sukshma body. So what happens when you can mind has the quality to perceive something, indriyas has the quality to perceive something, and mind has the quality to store something, just to see it, and buddhi has the quality to differentiate between the right and wrong, that should I pick this pen up? No, mind says, buddhi says no, you don't, because this pen actually for the other person, it resides for the other person. So, and again, the fourth one is the ahamkar, which tells that okay, I am doing it. My name is Divya, so Divya is doing it, not the other person is doing. So when I comes, so it recognizes as the ego. Okay, so for example, when I say I'm in a very beautiful garden, so I saw a beautiful sunflower. It is in beautiful yellow color. So my indriyas, my eyes saw it and tells to me, okay, Divya, should I pick it up? Okay, mind just restores the functioning of the flower. Okay, wow, very beautiful color. It is in yellow color. It has the brown base and beautiful, beautiful leaves. So this information it's stored by the mind, and my buddhi tells no, you don't have to pick it up because it's a nature giving, you cannot pick it up, and or it this flower is actually comes under the other person's garden or the neighbor's garden, so you don't have the right to pluck it. So buddhi differentiate between the right and wrong. Ahamkar, ego. Ego doesn't mean that I am the person. No, ego tells I am doing. When you don't have the knowledge about your soul and your body, nowadays we are correlating these two things together. Our beauty is particularly by the body, not from the soul. Our soul has the qualities of action. So this differentiation comes under ahamkar. So all of this subtler process comes under the second part, which is known as sukshma sharira. The third part, it is known as the casual body or the karan sharira, causal. So the current sharir is very, very higher sharir, and it doesn't have all of these things. But yes, because of current sharir, when the sukshma enter and when the gross enters, our full body works. Okay, so there is a concept in Sankhya, and it is a very deeper concept. I'm not going in that. So Purush and Prakriti, when the pure soul, and you can just imagine a materialistic world when it combines together, so the 25 elements come in a form, like from the buddhi comes buddhi, from ahamkar has the gunas and the actions. Okay, when the person has the right knowledge, when the person has the actual intellect to dissolute, to go for the liberation, this process of dissolution goes into the process of isolation, and in the last stage again, reversed way, purush and prakriti, when in the liberation stage, purush and prakriti not united, it separates. So the casual body is also present in that time. So casual body is very higher aspect, and when even the purush and prakriti dissolutes, it is there. When it's isolate, it is also there. But the subtle and the gross body dissolutes, it destroys, but casual body doesn't destroys. So this is a full concept of the three shariras. I am teaching it because you need to learn about the small aspect, so that you have the proper knowledge about it, and then after it you can inculcate it in a very whole, very minute way, and in a very whole subtler way. Thank you so much. I hope you have understood this concept about the dhatus and the shariras. So the summary of overall it In our body there are sapt dhatus, and our body is made up of by 3 shariras as well. So every dhatu has their own function, has their own components, and 3 shariras also have their own components, own functions. And I hope you have liked this session. Thank you so much for attending it.